Parenting a young child can feel like navigating an emotional minefield. One moment, everything's fine, and the next, your little one is on the floor screaming because their toast was cut the wrong way. If you're nodding along right now, you're not alone. Tantrums are a completely normal part of child development, but that doesn't make them any easier to handle. The good news is that there are proven strategies and tools that can help you respond with calm and confidence. If you're looking for practical parenting guidance like this, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more helpful content. Understanding why tantrums happen is your first step toward managing them effectively. Tantrums aren't acts of defiance or manipulation, even though they might feel that way in the moment. Instead, they're your child's way of expressing big emotions that they don't yet have the words or self-regulation skills to communicate in any other way. When your toddler's brain is overwhelmed, their emotional center takes over, and their prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for logic and reasoning, essentially goes offline. This is why reasoning with a child mid-tantrum rarely works. You're talking to a brain that isn't ready to listen. Recognizing the early signs of a tantrum is invaluable. Before your child reaches the point of no return, there are usually warning signals. You might notice their voice getting louder, their movements becoming more rigid, or their face starting to flush. They might whine more frequently or become suddenly clingy. Some children rub their eyes or clench their fists. Once you learn your own child's particular warning signs, you gain the ability to intervene early, and early intervention is always more effective than trying to de-escalate a full-blown meltdown. Creating a calm environment is foundational to managing tantrums. Your home should be a space where your child feels safe, even when emotions are running high. This means having designated calm spaces available. A cozy corner with soft pillows and blankets, low lighting, and minimal visual distractions can become a sanctuary during difficult moments. It's not a punishment zone, it's a regulation zone. Keep comfort items accessible, a favorite stuffed animal, a soft blanket, or a sensory toy. When your child knows they have a safe place to go, they're more likely to accept your guidance toward it. Your own emotional regulation is absolutely critical. Here's something that many parents struggle with. You cannot effectively calm your child if you yourself are dysregulated. When your child is melting down and screaming, it's easy for your own nervous system to become activated too. Your heart rate increases, your stress hormones spike, and suddenly you're responding from a place of frustration rather than intention. Before you can guide your child toward calm, you need to find your own center. This might mean taking 3 deep breaths before responding, stepping away for 10 seconds, or using a grounding technique like feeling your feet on the floor. Your calm is contagious. Developing a tantrum toolkit is something I really encourage every parent to do. This toolkit should include several different strategies because what works one day might not work the next. Your toolkit might include deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation, sensory activities, distraction techniques, and comfort strategies. Keep them visible on a whiteboard or in a journal so that when you're in the thick of it and your own thinking is cloudy, you have a reference guide. Some children respond beautifully to a cold compress on their face. Others need to move their body. Jumping, running, or dancing helps them discharge that intense energy. Some kids find comfort in squeezing a stress ball or fidgeting with a textured toy. The key is having options readily available. And if you find this toolkit approach helpful, please like this video so I know this kind of practical guidance resonates with you. The role of distraction shouldn't be underestimated, though it works best when used strategically. Distraction isn't about denying your child's emotions or pretending their feelings don't matter. Rather, it's about redirecting their attention during those moments when they're starting to escalate but haven't yet reached the point of complete overwhelm. If you notice the warning signs beginning, you might redirect their focus by pointing out something interesting outside the window, suggesting a quick activity, or moving to a different room. Sometimes a change of scenery is enough to shift their emotional state. However, distraction becomes problematic if it's used as your only strategy, because your child never learns to actually process and work through their big feelings. Naming emotions is a powerful tool that works over time. During calm moments, not during a tantrum, talk with your child about feelings. Read books about emotions, use feeling charts or emotion wheels. Help them build a vocabulary for what they're experiencing. When a child can say, "I'm frustrated," instead of just screaming, you've already won half the battle. When a tantrum does occur, Calmly labeling the emotion, "I see you're really angry right now," helps your child's developing brain make connections between their physical sensations and the emotional experience. This practice of emotion naming is one of the most evidence-based strategies in child psychology. Setting boundaries with compassion is essential. Many parents worry that if they don't give in during a tantrum, they're being harsh or unkind. This is a misunderstanding. Boundaries are actually an act of love. Your child needs to know what's acceptable and what isn't. When your child has a tantrum because you won't let them eat cookies for dinner, that's not a time to negotiate or give in. Hold the boundary firmly but gently. You might say, "I know you really want cookies. I'm not going to let you have them for dinner, and I can see that you're upset about that. Your feelings make sense, and I'm still saying no." This teaches your child that their feelings are valid even when their request isn't granted. Timing matters when it comes to discussing what happened after a tantrum. Many parents make the mistake of trying to have a discussion or deliver a lecture right in the aftermath. Your child's nervous system is still dysregulated. They're not ready to learn or reflect. Wait until they've calmed down and you've both had some time to recover. Then, from a place of genuine curiosity rather than frustration, you can talk about what happened. Your body was having big feelings earlier. What do you think you needed? This conversation plants seeds for future self-awareness and problem-solving. Consistency across different caregivers is really important. If one parent responds to tantrums with firmness while another gives in, or if the rules at home are different from the rules at school or grandma's house, your child becomes confused about expectations. Sit down with your co-parent, child care provider, or anyone else regularly caring for your child, and align on your approach. You don't need to be perfect or identical in your responses, but the core values and boundaries should be consistent. When children know what to expect, they feel safer, and tantrums actually tend to decrease. Physical activity is an often overlooked but incredibly effective tool for managing tantrums. Children have so much pent-up energy, and when that energy isn't adequately released, it often comes out as emotional dysregulation. Make sure your child gets plenty of active play every single day. Running, climbing, dancing, playing sports, these activities help regulate your child's nervous system and decrease the frequency and intensity of tantrums. On days when your child has had plenty of physical activity, you'll likely notice fewer behavioral challenges. Nutrition and sleep are non-negotiable foundations. A hungry or overtired child is exponentially more likely to have tantrums. It's not a character flaw, it's biology. Make sure your child is eating regular, balanced meals and snacks. Stay consistent with sleep schedules, aiming for the recommended amount of sleep for their age. These basics might seem unrelated to tantrum management, but they're absolutely foundational. I can't count how many parents have told me they had a breakthrough with tantrums simply by adjusting bedtime or ensuring their child ate lunch. Preparing your child for transitions can prevent a significant number of tantrums. Many children struggle with transitions because they're sudden and feel out of their control. Instead of just announcing, "We're leaving in 5 minutes," try saying something like, "In 5 minutes we're going to leave. Then we're going to go get groceries. I think we'll see the produce section first. What's your favorite fruit that we could look for?" Giving your child a heads up and involving them in the plan makes the transition feel less jarring and more manageable. Validation is different from agreement, and this distinction is crucial. When your child is having a tantrum, you can validate their feelings without validating their behavior. You can say, "I understand you're so disappointed that we can't go to the park today. You were really looking forward to it," without agreeing that they should scream about it. This is such a powerful parenting move because your child feels seen and heard, which actually decreases the intensity of the tantrum. When children feel validated, they're more willing to move toward cooperation. Creating predictability through routines helps reduce tantrums significantly. Children feel secure when they know what to expect. Consistent morning routines, bedtime routines, meal times, and other regular rhythms give your child's brain a sense of order and control. When children have some predictability in their day, they have fewer meltdowns because their nervous system isn't constantly bracing for the unexpected. You don't need rigid military-style routines. Gentle, flexible routines work beautifully. Knowing when to seek professional help is important too. Most tantrums are developmentally normal, but if your child is having extremely frequent tantrums, if they're dangerous to themselves or others, if they last an exceptionally long time, Or if you notice your child struggling across multiple settings, it might be worth talking to your pediatrician or a child psychologist. There are underlying issues like sensory sensitivities, anxiety, or developmental differences that a professional can help identify and address. Seeking help isn't a failure. It's a sign you're committed to understanding and supporting your child. Your mindset about tantrums will shape how you respond to them. If you view tantrums as character flaws or personal failures on your part, you'll feel defensive and reactive. If you view them as opportunities for your child to learn emotional regulation with your support, you'll feel more resourced and intentional. Your child isn't tantruming to make your life difficult. They're tantruming because they're overwhelmed, and they need you to help them find their way back to calm. That's your job, and you're absolutely capable of doing it.